Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber is on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Boys Bros 1975.
Hey YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975. I guess I don't even know what I'm going to call this up there right now, but I guess you could call this another Can I Be Honest video. And the simple reason is there are divisive characters in nature, in sport, in any form of entertainment, in movies, you know, in wrestling and stuff like that. You know, your tastes are your own, they're subjective. You don't have to like everyone. But I just have to say, I've just watched this for the third time, and it's the Paul Gascoigne documentary, where it's him, Gary Lineker, Jose Mourinho, talking about Gaza, and Gaza talking about his, you know, his career, his faults and his failures at the same time. Was he a saint? No. And he openly admits this. Did he have his faults? Yes. You know, did he have his demons? Yes. He talks about it very candidly, and it's very, very moving. But I talked to a couple of people at work about it, and they're just like, dude, why do you love that guy? Because, you know, I put a post on Facebook a few days ago, and this is actually me addressing the people at work at lunchtime, which is, you know, he's a fallen icon. He's not the person you admire and respect. And I don't admire and respect everything about him. But I would like to say this, that to me, Paul Gascoigne was the greatest player that this country, the most talented player, gifted player that this country has ever produced. And I don't think there will never be a player anywhere near his caliber. Yes, maybe he ballsed up his career, you know, with the accidents of, you know, his bad tackle and the nightclub incident, you know, wrecking his knee. But Paul Gascoigne is a staple of my childhood. He reminded us that an average person, you know, could be propelled to the top stage. And I don't mean being rich, loaded, getting sports cars and shit like that, but he could achieve his passion, achieve his goals through sheer passion of just being in love with the game. He trained with a tennis ball in his backyard. You know, he played for Newcastle, he played for Tottenham, he played for Lazio. He broke the transfer record, you know, in this country. He scored one of the finest goals ever in the FA Cup, a free kick that Messi or Ronaldo have wet dreams about doing as good as. And it annoys me that when you invest in someone that, you know, like you said, I don't consider him a saint. He's made, you know, he's made faults with his life. He's done some things that are terrible and bad, but doesn't everyone deserve a second chance? I think why I love Gaza, apart from the fact that on the football pitch, quite frankly, he was absolutely unmatched, he had everything, was because there was a vulnerability about him, you know, even with his skill. No, his skill on the pitch was him overcoming his vulnerability, I would say, because he was brass, he was in people's faces, and he dared to do stuff other people wouldn't even dream of thinking of doing. And I always admired that about him. Sorry, I dropped it. And then when you get to his personal life, his drinking, his drugs and stuff like that, and, you know, obviously they hit his wife, which I'm not completely defending. I'm just saying, when I watched this, to see Gaza explain it his own words and, you know, not defend half the things he did, it was just very touching and very moving. It was just, do you know what, right? The press are assholes. We know the press are assholes. They tear you a new one. They're dickheads. They build you up, as they did with him after, you know, the World Cup, which, quite frankly, the 1990 World Cup was Gaza's World Cup. He proved himself on a world stage. The shit he did in that World Cup was absolutely fantastic. But then immediately when you do anything, and granted I would say this, that hanging around with Chris Evans was probably not the greatest choice of his career, but the press handed him, more so than any other England player, or more so than any other football player in England. And one does think whether or not that kind of drove him to some of the foul decisions that he made. I just think like this is absolutely wonderful. I would recommend this to anyone. Am I defending, all of the things he did? I am certainly not. But I'm just saying, watch it in his own words and see him talk about himself very candidly and admit his faults. Because, to be human is a wonderful thing. But to be human and admit your failings, not many people do that. And he does it. And it's just wonderful, the stories of Gary Lineker when they come back from the World Cup, and he knows that he's going to be a big celebrity and England's going to take him to heart. Actually warned him when they got off the plane, which is be very careful. Jose Mourinho talking about when he saw him Euro 96, and he made his wife, who was 6 months pregnant, walk all the way to Wembley. Said it was one of the greatest goals he'd ever seen. That double header over Scotland. Sorry, Scotland, got to say, where the goalkeeper kicks it out massively long, and then he does that chip, and then the half volley into the goal, and then he counteracts the press with him being caught on, I believe it was his birthday and his day off, and he even went home early doing the dentist chair in a bar in Hong Kong. All I know is this, right? When I was a kid, Paul Gascoigne, he was knowing that now that I would never been, I played football a lot as a kid. I really, really did. I played for my house team at school. I played for a local team. We used to ride like 5 miles, downtown to play with another school. With no referees, and we would organise a game. And to me, that was simply because I wanted to be like Paul Gascoigne. He was just fucking amazing. So, and there's a lot of heat about this documentary, and it's kind of like, give him a break. He's tried to air his demons. He's spoken very, honestly about his faults and stuff like that. So why are the press still hounding him? This was absolutely brilliant. To relive all his great moments from playing for Newcastle, playing for Tottenham, where he single-handedly, when the club was almost bankrupt, took him to the FA Cup, fucked his knee up, missed the FA Cup final, fucked his knee up again in a nightclub that was not his fault, and had the highest transfer rates to a foreign club at the time, Lazio, which basically saved Tottenham Hotspur because they were bankrupt at the time. At Glasgow Rangers, he was absolutely fantastic. Even when he fucked his knee up and he came back, some of the stuff he does at Glasgow Rangers was just phenomenal and magic, and he scored so many amazing goals. Yes, he made a... Gotta be careful with this because I don't want to get threatened. Yes, he made a failure with the incident, but... Joker, great personality, one of the most talented footballers that England has ever produced. I sincerely doubt. Watching Wayne Rooney talk about him in this, because Wayne Rooney got to train with him a few times when at the end of his career when he was at Everton, and talks about what a wonderful character he was and how wonderful, wonderfully giving he was for all his faults and shit like that. Genius, brilliant. I think sometimes we need to accept that people, particularly geniuses, what's the descriptive term or the phrase they use, which is genius is one step away from madness. And I think in other walks of life, such as, TV actors and movie actors, they're far more forgiving than sports stars simply because of their huge paychecks and shit like that. That's not to say that movie and TV don't get huge paychecks. But I think it's easy to round upon a person when they've made faults, and sometimes they don't let them right the wrongs that they openly want to right. And all I know is, Paul Gascoigne, you were such a part of my childhood. You were such a part of my young adulthood. The 1990 World Cup, which is probably the best English team we've ever sported. 96 Euros. Oh, and Glenn Hoddle, you're a prick for keeping him out of 1998 World Cup, but yeah. Seriously, people, I'm gushing. Watch this. It's absolutely fucking amazing. Whether you like him or not, whether you're a sports fan or football fan or not, watch it. Give it a go. Not so much so for the football clips you'll see, but for being him being very candid and talking about his mistakes and accepting them. It's just, it was wonderful. That's all I got to say. And he was the greatest player of his generation. Oh, Gaza, I love you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.